to you correctly. You are tired of your 9 to 5. Listen, honey, when Friday comes around, it's all good. It's payday. You got the weekend off. But then Sunday hits. And you're like, ugh, it's Monday. I got to go back to the same job. I have to deal with the same people. And I am over it. Every time you get a few days off of your job that you don't like, you go and travel somewhere, whether you're traveling solo, with your partner, or with your family or friends. And so you were recently on the Shade Room and you saw that a certain airline was hiring. Or maybe you weren't interested in that particular airline, but you were like, something struck a nerve and it said, maybe I should become a flight attendant. This is my calling. It's a sign. So now you're feeling extra confident, right? You done told your girls, you like, girl, I'm about to become a flight attendant. You should apply to. It's not that hard. I mean, all they do is, what they do, they serve peanuts, pretzels, cookies, and they just walk through in their uniform. They don't do nothing, right? Wrong! What's up, you guys? It's your girl, Fierceness, and I'm back with a brand new video. And in today's video, it is 2019, y'all. So I'm here to bring you that 2019 vibe of how to become a flight attendant. Your hot girl summer is ending. And now you're like, hold on, I'm gonna need a job. I have been setting people up for success since 2016. The numbers do not lie. My Instagram inbox doesn't lie. Snapchat, Facebook, whenever y'all see me in the streets, if y'all see me on the airport, you guys have said, I watched your video, I listened to what you told me to do, I got my wings. So I'm just saying, this is how we're gonna do this video because it's probably gonna be at least 20 minutes. I'm gonna try to speed it up, try to keep your attention, but I'm just gonna let you know that every piece of information that I'm about to drop is vital. First and foremost, you guys, let's talk about what the responsibilities are of a flight attendant. I think a lot of people have it wrong. Peanuts, pretzels, and cookies is not what it's about, you guys, because truth be told, we won't even serve pretzels no more. Lord knows I miss those pretzels. They were so good. Y'all, please note, this is a safety-focused job or career. It can be a career, but it's all on what you choose to make it and how you choose to treat it. Safety is your #1 priority. If you are not willing to be safety conscious, safety focused, and to put safety first and foremost, you need not apply to become a flight attendant. Being a flight attendant is physically demanding. I repeat, being a flight attendant is physically demanding. You are on your feet all the time. Yes, you may get a break here and there, and if there's some turbulence, you might get a little bit longer of a break, but you guys, this job is physically demanding. You are reaching, and I can't reach like really far because I got this jean jacket on, but you are reaching, you are squatting, you are literally pop, lock, and dropping it. You are pulling different things from different places and doing a whole lot. So it is very physical. I'm just telling you, if you don't work out, then you will on the plane. That is literally your exercise, because I guarantee you, you're gonna have to pop, lock, and drop it. Pop, lock, and drop it. Your feet will hurt. Your back may hurt, and you have to be safety focused and cautious and pay attention to detail so that you do not hurt yourself. It's very physically demanding, but you have to be very safety conscious, and you're in very small quarters. Your galleys are small, those aisles are tight. If you've ever flown as a passenger, then you've seen just how tight it is on the aircraft. You are required to open emergency doors. You are opening and closing emergency doors while you're in training, and then even if you're on the aircraft and you have an emergency event, those doors are heavy. Again, you are pushing beverage carts. You are pulling beverage carts. You are restocking beverage carts. So just keep in mind, that's the physical aspect of the job. I think I've said enough to let you guys know exactly what the job entails. And, you know, I guess y'all are just like, I want to do it. Like, you just want to work weekends. You want to work holidays. You don't care about going out with your friends no more. You don't care about that 9 to 5. It's over. Like, you are ready to go to Paris, London, Brussels, but you're probably going to end up somewhere in the middle of Kentucky. So choosing the right airline is essential when you are applying to become a flight attendant. If you choose the wrong airline, you may end up somewhere where you do not want to be. You will be absolutely unhappy, and then you will be pissed off that you left your 9 to 5. If I forget something, please comment down below so that you can share that information with others, or ask me a question. If I can answer it, I will. I am sharing everything that I can because you all know how it goes, okay? So the first thing when you are choosing the right airline for yourself, you want to think about where you want to be based. Your base is your airport that you fly in and out of. For myself, I am New York City based. So I have to cover LaGuardia, JFK, and Newark. That means that my trips can originate from JFK and end at JFK, or from Newark and end at Newark, or LaGuardia and end at LaGuardia. It really just depends. So before training, I lived in New York City and I knew I wanted to be based in New York City, so it was a no-brainer. But my roommate, for example, she was a language speaker, so she didn't have an option. She was sent to Los Angeles, California. So there are times where you may have an option and you may not. I had more choices because I was a non-language speaker. She had to go where the company needed Spanish speakers. So when you're thinking about your base as a new hire, personally, I would suggest, let's say you live in Chicago and you want to be based in Chicago, then you would most likely want to apply with, I believe it's Southwest. Is it Southwest or Spirit? Comment down below if you know. It's one of those S's that has the hubs in Chicago. I think it's actually Southwest. But if you want to be based in Chicago, that is what you would choose. The airline that I work for, we have a lot of different base selections, and typically the junior bases are like New York, Detroit, Minneapolis, Boston. So if you were from Boston, you may want to choose Boston as a base. Why am I suggesting that you choose somewhere that you live? Because it's not easy, y'all. I'm not gonna sit here and act like it is. A lot of people get caught up in the glamour of being a flight attendant, but the truth is, the glamour that you see is glamour that we create. If I just want to roll out the bed in the morning and look absolutely crazy and throw my uniform on, yes, I have my uniform on, my uniform is compliant, but you may not see my face beat. So the point is that when you see the makeup and the hair and the nails and the jewelry and it all comes together, that is my personal brand, that is a person's personal brand, and they are also making that coincide with the company's brand. So you always have to keep in mind your brand, company's brand, and just gel the two. As a new hire flight attendant, whatever airline that you worked with, if you are not based at home, you have to either move, right? And if you have to move, then you have to find an apartment, or you have to find a crash pad. A crash pad is something that many flight attendants live in. I've never personally lived in a crash pad. If you don't choose the right base, or if you are not able to choose a base that you want, you will have to commute. Let me put commuting like this. Commuting is the last thing you want to do unless you have to do it. Let's say, for example, you chose the wrong airline, and it's the wrong airline because they don't have the base that you want. You just applied for any airline and they hired you and you were like, okay. So now you have to get on a flight and fly to your base to go to work. So what you're doing is you're creating an extra flight for yourself. So yes, you're sitting in that seat and flying standby as a passenger, but still that can be exhausting in itself. And if there's weather delays, if you miss your flight, whatever happens, honey, that is on you. So in choosing the right base, I would suggest that you really do your due diligence in what bases are offered to new hire or junior flight attendants, and make sure that you are prepared to move. And if you are not prepared to move, then you need to be prepared to commute. Another thing to think about when you are choosing the right airline for yourself is that if it don't make money, it don't make sense, honey. So you want to make sure that the airline is going to pay appropriately. As flight attendants, we are paid when the door closes, and then we are paid when the door opens. Now granted, if for some reason you get back early, you're not deducted, but if you get back later, you do receive additional compensation. There's a lot of different things that factor in with how you get paid, but just keep in mind that as a new hire flight attendant, it ain't easy. And again, if you were to choose the right base that allows you to maybe stay home, you are cutting costs and not having to pay for a hotel room or a crash pad or an apartment. So just factor all of those things in when you are choosing the right airline. Many people don't think about this, but reserve life. When you're choosing the right airline, Reserve life is critical. The airline that I work for, we have 6 reserve days a month. Those days are awesome. Those days can be in 2 blocks of 3, or they can be a block of 6. Or let's say you are my colleague and you have some trips that you'd rather give me and you take my reserve days, we can swap. Other airlines, you may sit around for a month because you're on reserve for a month and you may not get a trip. Yeah, you'll be paid, but if you're looking to travel, if you're looking to graduate with a line, with a schedule, knowing at least what's going on in your life, you want to make sure that you choose an airline that is going to let you fly, honey. You want to fly. If you just want to sit around, then, I mean, there's the possibility that you can sit around. There's also the possibility that you may be flying. But let's note, anxiety is real. I think a lot of people don't talk about it within the community. I think it's very important to note. As for myself, I do have anxiety. It's not very like serious, but I'm like an anal kind of structured person. So there's no way that I'd be able to sit around for a month on reserve and not know what the HE double hockey sticks is going on. So factor that in, because if you, let's say for example, there's tons of new hires that recently graduated with the airline that I work for. They have weddings coming up and they may have been scheduled a trip on the weekend, but it's okay because they can swap with someone. So just know that you want a lot of flexibility wherever you're going. When you're choosing the right airline, you want to do a list of pros and cons, and whatever wins is the airline that you should be applying for. All right, guys, so I know this is about to seem real first world problem-ish, but think about the uniform options. I'm just gonna let you know that some people, the uniform means like absolutely everything to them. I used to love the red dress that we had. I mean, I miss it, but truth be told, before I started wearing that red dress, you could never catch me in the color red. And now, I mean, I got red dresses sitting in my closet that I haven't touched. So it's one of those things where like, it meant so much at the time, and now we're in purple, and I don't wear purple unless I'm flying, but I do like the style of the dress because it's very stretchy and it just works for me. So it is what it is, you know what I mean? It's just a uniform. As soon as I get out that uniform, I'm taking me a shower, putting my hoops on, and making it do what it do. So if the uniform means something to you, if you have been dreaming of being a flight attendant since you were a little girl or a little boy, and you just want to wear this one specific uniform, then maybe that's the airline that you want to apply for. Think about the overall culture when you are choosing the right airline. You want to think about the overall culture. How does this airline, how does this company treat their employees? I'm sure you can go on like Indeed and Glassdoor, and you can Google and just see what the overall feel is for the company and see if you can see yourself a part of that company. You know, can you see yourself in the big picture? Will it gel? Will it fit? Does it align with your way of thinking, their values, what they stand for, customer service wise? Because don't forget, y'all, it is a customer service job, okay? You know, just make sure that you are on board with the overall culture. Make sure that when you choose the right airline, you actually qualify. Y'all, read the requirements. Most airlines in the US, you have to be 21 years old, but there are some regionals that will hire you if you are younger than 21. You want to make sure that you actually qualify. It's probably like they want a high school diploma or a GED, some sort of customer service experience, or that you've worked with caring for people. Just make sure that you actually qualify. Ain't no sense in applying if you don't meet the requirements, but also don't sell yourself short and say, oh, because I don't have 5 years of customer service experience, they won't hire me. I only have 1. Just don't sell yourself short in that sense. When choosing the right airline, you also want to think about your travel benefits. The company that I work for, if I am flying standby and you are flying standby and you were hired in 1986 and I was hired in 2019, unless I opt to use a higher priority, you're getting on before me because it's seniority based. There are many airlines that actually operate by whoever checks in first. So even if you 1986 or 82, whatever I said, and I am, you know, 2019, if I check in before you, honey, I'm making it on there before you, unless there are certain priorities that they can use. I'm not really sure about that part. But once you apply, it doesn't end there. You don't just get a response saying, hey, you look great on paper, you're hired. No, honey, there are a series of steps that will have to take place, and we will cover that in my next video because I am setting you up for success in 2019 and 2020 to earn your wings. But let me just let you know that you will have to go to a face-to-face interview. In this face-to-face interview, the company may fly you out or they may make you pay for your own flight. Money is already tight now, guys. It might be difficult. And maybe you just don't want to go drop some money on a flight where you don't even know if you're going to be hired, because it's competitive. It is super, super competitive in terms of the number of applicants, but the real competition is you against you. So you have to ask yourself, are you willing to invest in buying yourself a flight to the face-to-face interview, or do you only want to apply for an airline that is going to fly you out? No judgment here. I mean, the airline that I work for, they flew me out. I was super, super grateful. I actually flew out with a couple of other girls and we were hired together. We didn't know each other from a can of paint, and it just so happened like that. But just think about that, because you never really know if you're gonna get hired, and you may not have the money to drop on a flight. You're already gonna need something to wear, you're gonna need your bag, you're gonna need your hair done, your nails, all of those things. So that's something where you may actually want to start a little fund for right now, especially if you're applying today or you've already applied for the company that you want to work with. Have a little fund that says my flight attendant fund. And honestly speaking, just think about where the face-to-face is going to be held for the airline that you're interested in, and start kind of gauging what the flight prices may be. And of course, if it's last minute, then the price is going to go up. So factor all of that in. So the last thing that I have here when choosing the right airline is you want to make sure that you meet the passport requirements. I know this is about to sound crazy because some people think, oh, you just need a passport. But like for me, my passport had to have at least 28 months left by the time I went to training. So it's not just about having a passport, because if I were to have had a passport that only had 5 months left, I would have had to drop some more money to get a whole new passport so that I had more than 28 months left. So there's a lot of expenses, and it's actually starting to rack up in my head. Wow, there's a lot of expenses that come into play when you're choosing the right airline. I mean, you could be anywhere, you could spend anywhere from, I would say, especially if you have to buy the flight and whatever you're gonna wear and all that, you could spend anywhere from like $300 to $1,000. And that's just me kind of guesstimating. But think about all of those things. What are you willing to invest in yourself? So once you realize, okay, this is the airline that's for me, or maybe there's 3 airlines that stack up all together, you're like, okay, this is it. I want you to apply. But before you apply, I want you to read the application 3 times. Not 1, not 2, but 3. Because once you read it multiple times, it sinks in, and you can actually put yourself in the shoes of a flight attendant. Because honestly, like, I was helping a friend and I was reading it, and I had to read it a few times, and I was like, wow, it took me like, it took me to work, which was really interesting. It talked about so many different things. But whatever airline that you choose to apply with, read that application multiple times, and I want you to make sure that if you mean to answer a question with a yes, that you actually choose yes. Don't make a mistake and choose no. Don't get sidetracked. No distractions. Stay focused. This is what you want. There are many applicants applying, but really you're just competing with yourself. So if you screw up and put no when you meant yes, then you could easily X yourself out of the competition. That is all I have for choosing the right airline. Again, if there's anything that I forgot, please do comment down below. So it is crucial. It's not just about applying to become a flight attendant, it's about choosing the right airline. And I hope that I have set you up for success with just some pointers that I think are really, really important when choosing the right airline, you know, because a lot of people don't think about these things. If I had to choose from this list, the 2 most important things to me were the base and the reserve life. Let me just insert this real quick before we transition. As a flight attendant, I do get 10 days off per month. Then I have my reserve days, so that's already 16 days right there, but 10 of those days I'm off. And typically I usually get off 15 to 16 days. Some people choose to work way more, but when you look at it in the grand scheme of things, it does provide a lot of flexibility. And you know, just the reserve life is just great, because a lot of times I swap my stuff for trips, but now that I'm getting more senior, I tend to just keep my reserve days because I know that I can bid for great stuff. So we'll talk about all that stuff later, but let's transition. I want to talk about resume building and cover letter. This is how I'm going to present it to you guys, because I feel like I have to really make you get it, okay? So you know how now everybody's on this craze of chicken sandwiches. I don't eat meat, but everybody's on this craze of chicken sandwiches. So there's Popeyes versus, oh my gosh, oh, Chick-fil-A, I think it is. Okay, so that's that. Now I want you to think about Subway. So think about the commercials. So when you see that commercial with that Popeyes chicken sandwich or that Chick-fil-A sandwich, you're like, look at the bread. The chicken looks so crispy. Then it's got the sauce on it. If you guys hear a little noise, sorry, my dog is over here getting herself comfortable. But when you're looking at this sandwich, you're like, oh my gosh, I want to try that. Woo! So with Subway, you see a beautiful sandwich, freshly baked bread, stacked with assorted veggies and a sauce. And I mean, the veggies are so crisp and beautiful, like they were just pulled out of the garden and washed. You guys, you just looked at / watched a cover letter. Your cover letter has to entice whoever lays their eyes on it. You have to paint a picture so vivid that they know who you are, a little bit about what you can bring, and why you want the job. But you want to give them just enough. Your cover letter is really marketing. You are marketing yourself before they even get to see the product. And the product is going to be your resume. But keep in mind that your cover letter is just going to be just enough. It's like a nice introduction, and that's what that commercial does. And then what happens after people saw the commercial? They want to run out and get it. They will wait in a line. They will do anything and everything to get to this sandwich, to get to this candidate. This candidate is someone we need to meet. This cover letter is just way too good. I'm enticed. I'm drawn in. I want to know more. Okay, turn the page. Woo! There goes the sandwich, okay? I am talking about a freshly baked wheat bread with American cheese, mayo, spicy mustard, lettuce, tomato, green peppers, onions, pickles, jalapenos, banana peppers. And if you're feeling real breezy, swift like the wind, you might add some guac. That is your resume. Your resume is stacked. It is stacked beautifully. Told you guys before, but for those of you who have never watched my video, my resume had a photo. What better way than put in a name with a face? Let's just call it what it is, okay? I had my name, address, email address, phone number, then my little picture, smiling, looking cute, because I was feeling real cute when I took that pic. So I was like, you know, I'm gonna use my cutest pic. I ain't have on no hoops or nothing. Like, it was a classic kind of photo. Like, hair was back, small earrings, I had a collar shirt on. It was just a nice little photo. And my resume was stacked with the jobs that I worked. And for those of you who don't know, prior to this, I was a nanny. I worked with high profile families and celebrity families. So I stacked all of that. I stacked my volunteering experiences, college information, high school information. And I came from the pageant world, so interviews have always been my thing. Even if I didn't win the title, I always won the interview because I don't know, it's just kind of always been my thing. I mean, look at me now, I'm running my mouth and you guys are still watching me, so shout out to you. If you're still here at this point, I need you to give this video a thumbs up. I mean, and tell a friend to tell a friend. Like, we out here trying to help each other get hired, help each other level up, and we need to share this information with a friend. So make sure that you do that. But just to reel it all back in, the other thing that I did, which I think is really, really important, I included my hobbies. Why not? Maybe you like to go kayaking, or maybe you're like myself and you like to go zip lining, or maybe you like to watch How to Get Away with Murder or Scandal or Netflix. Whatever your hobbies are, put it there. Why, you ask? Because you don't know who's gonna lay their eyes on this resume, and when they do, something will resonate. Maybe they can connect with you. And I don't watch Scandal or any of that stuff. I don't even know if it's still on, but maybe they can say, wow, it has to be this type, like this type of person is the type of person who would watch this or do that. So make sure that you sell yourself. You stack that sandwich. And what is that gonna do? That's gonna get you to the next level. That's gonna get you to the next round. It is, because you have enticed them. You've pulled them in. Then when they, through your cover letter, then when they see your resume, it is so solid and so stacked, and they're like, yeah, this is someone that needs to be met. call this person, email this person. I can see them here. You always want to keep your resume up to date. Even if the company that you're interested with is not hiring right now, keep it up to date so that when they do open those applications, you are ready. Because you know what I heard? I heard that if you stay ready, you ain't gotta get ready. All right, friends, and our last section is let's talk. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about what the people ain't talking about. Let's address it. Let's make it do what it do. Let's just put some rumors to rest and let's address it. So the first thing, sexuality. Will I be hired if I'm gay? Will I be hired if I'm transgender? Yes. Who you are is who you are. You are looking at a proud lesbian woman. Let nothing or no one stop you from making your dreams come true. Don't, how can I say this? Okay. Don't X yourself out before someone else has. The only thing that should be holding you back is if you don't meet the requirements, if you are not eligible at this time. Otherwise, you should be applying. Absolutely. I work with all sorts of flight attendants, people from different backgrounds and different cultures. No matter the airline, it is a big melting pot within in-flight. That's just the reality. It's not about your sexuality or your nationality or it's not about that. It's not. It's about you being able to do a safety-focused job, provide customer service, carry out your duties, uphold the brand, and just be real, be true, and be you. So don't let anything that you've heard, read, hold you back. You go and apply and show them how it's done. You go and apply and shut that rumor all the way down. People always want to know about tattoos, right? So let's talk about it. So everything that I've ever read says that they must not be visible. So I think that's pretty much just telling you to make your tattoos invisible. Whatever invisible means, then you make them invisible. I don't have any tattoos. I've never had tattoos. It's not my thing. I think they're really cool, but I don't like pain. So I know a lot of people with tattoos that are flight attendants. I know a lot of people with tattoos that are flight attendants. I know a lot of people with tattoos that are flight attendants. When they go to work, they're invisible. There's also uniform options that can cover those tattoos, so factor that in as well. But don't let your tattoos hold you back. I mean, obviously if you got a tattoo here on the side of your face, I guess you just gotta make sure it's invisible. I heard that Kat Von D, the makeup is like really good for covering tattoos, but I don't have tattoos, so I don't know. But whatever you do, make sure your tattoos are invisible. All right, so let's address swimming. Do I need to know how to swim as a flight attendant? You need to be comfortable in water. That's pretty much it. I mean, I know how to swim, but many people didn't, and you just have to be comfortable in water. So do yourself a favor, and while your hot girl summer, hot boy summer is ending, find yourself the nearest pool and start floating. I mean, obviously, like, make sure that there's a lifeguard around, but just maybe take a swim class, get yourself comfortable in water, and don't let that hold you back, because that's silly, and you know, you don't need to know how to swim, you just need to be comfortable in water. And the last thing that we're gonna talk about is the video interview. So, you guys, after you pass all of those crazy steps towards becoming a flight attendant, you're gonna have to do a video interview. And when you do your interview, what I want you to do is stay tuned for my next video, because that's what we'll be addressing. I'm not about to have y'all sit here for another 20-30 minutes and no. So hopefully this video will help you make a decision with figuring out if being a flight attendant is for you. Oh, and if it helps, my picture was in color on my resume. So hope that helps. I love you guys so much. In the meantime, in between time, until we see each other again, make sure you continue to stay beautiful from the inside to the out. Let nothing or no one stop you from growing, glowing, and earning your wings. All right, y'all, it's your girl Fierceness, and I'm signing off. Love you guys. Bye.